Are mechanical gaming keyboards worth it? Well, in this episode of Tech FAQs, we're going to be discussing that, and we're also going to be including your viewer thoughts as well. So yeah, stick around, this should be good. Now, mechanical gaming keyboards are something that I am very familiar with. I've done many reviews. In fact, there is a whole shelf basically full of them. In fact, there's 2 shelves full of them. So I'm pretty well accustomed to these. I've also been using mechanical gaming keyboards personally for a good 5 years now. I started with this, which is the Black Widow actually Ultimate 2013. That predates the Chroma RGB revolution. So yeah, it's very clicky. But used the Cherry MX Blue switches, and at the time, Cherry switches were still fully patented, so it was basically only Cherry switches, at least in the sort of mainstream markets. Of course, nowadays we have stuff like Logitech's Roamer G switches, Kali switches, Razer switches, which used to be Kali switches. We also have stuff like the TechteamGB ones, which are pretty decent, and a lot of very similar Cherry clones, so this is certainly an interesting time to be someone who wants a mechanical gaming keyboard. Now, in terms of pricing, which is one of the biggest factors for mechanical gaming keyboards, they can actually be had for about £20. Take a look at the Aukey keyboard that's currently on the shelf. You probably just about can't see it, but I did a full review of it. It's a fantastic, I think, 10 keyless style where it's a really very well built, uses a TechteamGB blue switches, and while it doesn't have backlighting, you can get an RGB version for a couple quid more if you fancy. Now, of course, most of the mechanical keyboards that you'll see are probably somewhere around 60 to apparently £200 with the K95 Platinum, but the general price bracket I would say is about £100 to £150 for a really good quality, nice to type on, obviously very long lasting mechanical gaming keyboard. Now, for me, a mechanical keyboard is a must-have in terms of gaming. It's something that I really very much enjoy using. The typing experience is just so much better for me personally with Cherry MX Brown switches, and the thing with mechanical keyboards is that they are very different depending on what key type you get. I cannot stand Cherry MX Reds. They're just too linear, they're too soft, they're too mushy for me. I love browns. I can deal with blues. They're certainly very annoyingly loud, but I lived with them for 3 years before I changed keyboards, so I'm very happy with using those as well. But I think it really comes down to personal preference a lot. I know that a lot of people do find the rubber dome kind of experience, or the membrane experience, a little bit nicer because it's certainly a lot quieter, even with the sort of silent reds or silent browns. But obviously the overall actual typing accuracy and stuff like that, unless you're very heavy on your key presses and obviously bottom out your key press every single time, having a mechanical keyboard is very nice for that. And of course, I specifically was talking about gaming here, and so with gaming, for me, I do feel like it is a decent improvement. It's something that I am able to more accurately hit key presses, and it's very easy to repeatedly hit quick key presses as well. So if you need to quickly hit reload or strafe left or strafe right or something, all of those things are very easy, and you don't fully need, you don't need to bottom the key out fully, for example, which is one of the nice things about mechanical keyboards versus membranes. You can also be a lot more sure of your action when you actually press a key on a mechanical keyboard, especially with the tactile feeling of browns or blues, where you know exactly that you've heard the click and, well, slight actuation point difference, but generally speaking, if you hear the click, you've actuated the key, or you feel the tactile bump and you've actuated the key. So it's really nice to have that accuracy. And of course, if you use speed switches or reds, then you may find that a bit different, but it's kind of up to personal preference. And now it's time to hear your thoughts. That dude named Cohen said that he actually despises mechanical keyboards and that he went with a membrane or rubber dome style rather than a mechanical for his new PC. I'd be really interested to hear from you again. If what type of key switches have you tried? Because for me, I've tried a vast majority of them, and as I said, I personally, if you use your word, despise reds, but I absolutely love browns, and it's a very different typing experience. So I'd be interested to hear what type you've used. Bug says that he personally, before owning the K65 Lux he has now, he would say no, they aren't worth it at all, but now that he has one, he would never go back to a rubber dome or membrane keyboard. And on a pretty similar track, Moosey says that he didn't think so initially, but now he has multiple. He just can't really use rubber domes. They're too, I suppose, mushy and not enough resistance for him, so fair play. Cyber Shark went with a pretty short answer of yes, they are worth it, generally speaking, and I would agree with that. Kev from Tech UK, who you should definitely check out, by the way, is kind of seconding me here with there's definitely variation in the switch types, but browns are just in a different class of their own. And Brian says for him, they don't really work, they're too loud for his nerves, and I think I'd be again interested to find out which type of key switches you've tried. If you've only tried blues, I would definitely agree with you, these are really, really loud, but the browns and even reds, if you want a nice soft and linear motion, those are pretty nice and may work better for you. So as always, it comes down to personal preference. If you've only tried a mechanical keyboard with blue switches, you might end up hating it, and I completely understand, but I would really recommend you try out some browns or reds if you can, and obviously any, you know, relative switch, so the Razer greens, yellows, or oranges, the you know, equivalent switch type. Recommend trying those out and seeing what you think, but on the whole, for me personally, especially now that you can get really good mechanical keyboards for like £20–30, it's getting a lot more worth it than it was back when I bought one, and yeah, I definitely recommend it. So I think that pretty much wraps up this episode of Tech FAQs. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you someone that has a mechanical gaming keyboard? Do you think that they're worth it for, you know, gaming or even just general use? Should everyone have a keyboard, a mechanical gaming keyboard? Let me know in the comments down below. If you have any questions you'd like to see me answer in future episodes, again, leave those in the comments down below or tweet them at me on Twitter. And of course, if you want to be part of this episode or the next episodes and answer the questions, make sure to follow me on Twitter so that you're following and you see them when I ask the next question. So otherwise, that is pretty much it. There are some other videos over here for you. If you haven't checked out the first couple episodes of Tech FAQs, feel free to do so. I'll leave a playlist either on the side or in the you know, description or something. And if you want to support the channel, keep these videos coming out on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and now Saturdays with the Tech FAQ series, then feel free to take a look at the Patreon, Amazon, and Overclockers Gate affiliate links where you can support me there too. Otherwise, that is pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video.